So today we'll be talking about 11 food and beverages to avoid during your pregnancy. Hey guys, welcome back to Nikki at your Cervix. It's your girl Nikki here, and if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit my subscribe button, turn my post notification bell on so you can get an update every time I have a new release. And follow me on Instagram at Nikki underscore at underscore your underscore Cervix for lots more interesting content. So these are the foods you should not eat. So the first one is high mercury fish. So mercury is highly toxic. It has no safe level of exposure and it's most commonly found in polluted water. In higher amount, it can be toxic to your nervous system, your immune system, and even your kidneys. And it may also cause serious developmental problems in children with adverse effect. Therefore, it's best to avoid high mercury fish while pregnant and breastfeeding. So some examples of these are like sharks, swordfish, king mackerel, tuna, marlin, tilefish from the Gulf of Mexico, as well as orange roughy. Another food you should not eat is an undercooked or raw fish. So this one can be very tough for like sushi fans, but it's very important not to eat it. Raw fish, especially shellfish, can have several infections. These can be viral infection, bacterial infection, or even parasitic infection, such as the norovirus, the Vibrio, Salmonella, Listeria, all of those. So some of these infections may only affect you, causing you to have dehydration and weakness. However, other infection may be passed to your baby, which can cause serious or even fatal consequences, and we don't want that, right? Studies have also shown that pregnant women are especially susceptible to getting listeria infections. And this study shows that pregnant women are up to more than 10 times more likely to get listeria infection than the rest of the population. So listeria is found in soil, contaminated water or plant, and raw fish become infected during processing, including like when it's been smoked or dry. So this listeria bacteria can be passed to your baby through the placenta even if you're not showing any sign of illness as the mother. It can still be passed to the baby and you don't know. So this can lead to premature delivery, miscarriages, stillbirth, and other serious health problems. So nope, avoid your raw fish and shellfish, including those sushi dishes, okay? Another one is undercooked raw and processed meat. So some of the same issues with raw fish affect undercooked meat too. So eating undercooked or raw meat increases your risk of getting infections such as bacteria, parasites including toxoplasma, E. coli, listeria again, and salmonella. So bacteria may threaten the health of your baby, possibly leading to stillbirth or even severe neurological condition, and we don't want that because that can lead to intellectual disabilities, blindness, and even epilepsy, what we call seizures. So while most of the bacteria found on whole pieces of meat, other bacteria may linger inside the muscle fiber itself. So when you don't cook it properly, the microorganism can be passed to you, leading to infections. So cut meats, including meat patties, burgers, mince meat, pork, and poultry, should never be consumed raw or undercooked. So deli meats like hot dogs, luncheon meats, and so on are also a cause of concern because surprisingly they host a lot of bacteria during their processing and storage state. So pregnant women should not consume processed meat products unless they have been reheated until it's steaming hot. So we're trying to kill off all the microorganisms. So if that's not the case, do not consume these meat. Another one is raw eggs. So raw eggs can be contaminated with salmonella bacteria. So some symptoms you may experience is like a fever, nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps, and even diarrhea. In rare cases, you can have cramps in the uterus leading to premature birth or stillbirth. So some foods that contain raw eggs include like lightly scrambled eggs, poached egg, homemade mayonnaise, some homemade salad dressing, homemade ice cream, homemade cake icing. So if you know that something contains raw eggs, do not consume them. Another one is organ meat. So this is a great source of a variety of nutrients. These include iron, vitamin B12, vitamin A, zinc, selenium, copper, all of which are good for you and your baby. However, listen carefully, eating too much of animal-based vitamin A, which we call preformed vitamin A, is not recommended during your pregnancy. So if you consume too much preformed vitamin A, especially in your first trimester of pregnancy, this can lead to congenital malformations as well as miscarriages. Another one is caffeine. So pregnant women are generally advised to limit their caffeine intake to less than 200 milligrams per day. This is because caffeine is absorbed very quickly and passes easily into the placenta. So because your baby and their placenta don't have the main enzyme, this is something that metabolizes the caffeine, they don't have this, so high level of caffeine can build up, and this high level during your pregnancy can cause restriction in fetal growth as well as increase the risk of having a baby with a low birth weight at delivery. So when I say low birth weight, I mean that the baby is less than 5 pounds when they're born, and this is also associated with increased risk of infant death and a higher risk of chronic diseases in their adulthood. So yeah, limit your caffeine intake. Another one is raw sprout. So raw sprout including alfalfa, clover, radish, so on and so forth may be contaminated with salmonella again. So the humid environment required by seeds to start sprouting is ideal for these bacteria to grow, and so it's kind of impossible to wash them off. So when you're making a salad, it's important that for this reason you're advised to avoid raw sprout altogether in your pregnancy. Another one is unwashed produce. So the surface of any unwashed or unpeeled fruits and vegetables may be contaminated with several bacteria and parasites. So as we said before, these can include Toxoplasma, E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria again, which may be acquired from the soil or through even handling. So contamination can occur at anytime during processing, production, harvesting, storage, transportation, or even in retail. So one of the dangerous parasites that may linger on the fruits and vegetables is what we call the Toxoplasma. And majority of people who get Toxoplasma has no symptoms, while others may feel like they have a flu for a month or more. Most infants who are infected with Toxoplasma while still in the womb have no symptoms at birth. However, symptoms such as blindness or intellectual disability may develop later on in their lives. Another one is unpasteurized milk, cheese, and fruit juice. So raw milk, unpasteurized cheese, and soft ripened cheeses can contain a variety of harmful bacteria again, including again Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli, and a new one called Campylobacter. And you can have life-threatening consequences for you and your unborn baby. So to minimize the risk of infection from this, you should only eat pasteurized milk, pasteurized cheese, and pasteurized fruit juice, because when we pasteurize things, it's like the most effective way to kill any harmful bacteria without changing the nutritional value of the product itself. Another one is alcohol. So it's advised to completely avoid drinking alcohol when you're pregnant, as this increases the risk of having miscarriages and stillbirth. So even a small amount negatively impact your baby's brain development. So drinking alcohol during your pregnancy can also cause fetal alcohol syndrome, which involves like the baby having facial deformities, heart defects, and even intellectual disabilities. So no level of alcohol is safe, so you should just avoid it altogether. And the last one is processed junk food. So an optimal pregnancy eating plan should mainly consist of whole foods with plenty of nutrients to fulfill you and your baby's needs. So processed junk food is generally low in nutrients and high in calories, sugars, and added fats. And we don't want all of that. So while some weight gain is necessary during your pregnancy, if you have excess weight gain, it's linked to many different complications and diseases like gestational diabetes. This is diabetes in your pregnancy, as well as other pregnancy complications. And if you want to know what are some food options you can eat during your pregnancy, I will have another video for that. I will just tag it in the description box and tag it up here so you guys can see that as well. If you have any queries as it regards to your diet while you're pregnant, the first person you should consult for this is your OBGYN or your healthcare provider, and they can come up with specific meal plan and give you advice as per such. Everybody's case is different, and so they know what works best for you and your babies. And tell me in the comment section below as well, what did you not eat in your pregnancy and why? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nicky at Your Cervix on YouTube. Until next time, see you soon. Bye.